We've got FC Cincinnati head coach Pat Noonan following tonight's 1-1 draw with Orlando. Coach, if you want to start with your thoughts on the result.
Yeah, it felt like the goal was coming from them. I don't think we defended particularly well over the course of the 90 minutes. Got two opened up in this game with a very good team in transition. Whether it was sloppy turnovers, rushed plays, I think we struggled to control the tempo in some of our decisions and how we attack. Put us in some vulnerable spots. So, yeah, I don't even want to say a fair result. It could have been worse than that. So, take a point and look at some of the things specifically defensively that have to improve.
We'll go to Carter.
You guys have been in these one-goal situations and have been mostly successful at seeing them out. What did you see maybe particularly late that was the difference between those nights and tonight?
Organization defensively, I think how we get behind the ball and how we make the game difficult for teams to break us down. It's too easy, too many pieces out of a place, and then you got to defend a very good team in the attack, in isolation, dealing with crosses, dealing with runs behind. So it was just a disconnected defensive effort.
You've talked about the importance of patience, particularly in the offense, and I'd imagine that extends late into those games when you guys are seeking maybe a second goal late. Do you feel like you're still trying to find the right balance between bunkering in and going versus going for a second goal and what that looks like? Or
yeah,
that's
fair.
What do you think?
That's fair. I mean, Brenner still has a pretty good look to go 2-0, so the chances are still kind of there, but it's how do you get to those spots? How do you make sure that it's the right moments to attack and understand the game? We're up a goal, and if we get a second goal, it's because it's a mistake on their end or a little bit more patient with tempo control to allow us to close the spaces, and I think that's what we're still trying to figure out.
Go to Laura.
You mentioned Orlando having a lot of chances. They missed some sitters,
Yeah.
but you guys also had some good chances. Did you feel like it was a missed opportunity to go up 2-0? Like, did you feel like there was enough there that?
I think so. The aftermath of the goal, I still think for a stretch there was in pretty good control. We could have got that second goal, but it's the priority needs to be defending in a better way. So we know we can create. There was plenty of chances out there, but what's more concerning is how many we concede. And so at this stage, and if we want to make a run, deep into the playoffs, it's got to be better defensively.
Kevin did get a goal. It's been, I think he had just one in the last 10 games. How good was that to see him get on the score sheet again? And just
it typically comes from our movement in ways that benefit, yourself, your teammate, but are just the right run. And I think Brenner makes a good run to open up space. Evander sees it. The timing's good. Kevin takes it well. So you see what those three are capable of when the timing and the movement's right, when we have space to attack. I still think when we get the ball in the wide areas, we don't run it hard enough in front of goal. We need more unselfish runs straight to goal to get on the end of them or open up space in different ways. But we get into the spots. It's in those moments we could be better.
We'll go to Jeff.
Coach, we saw another start for Samuel Gidi, almost 90 minutes in the play. Can you talk a little bit about the trust to have him play extended minutes like this as your starter?
I think if you see the game, he's a good player, and with the ball does a lot of good things. I think the movement behind pressure and how he advances he has good ideas there and good understanding of some of the things we're looking at. I think there was a couple moments where maybe the idea to move forward and how that left us exposed in a couple of turnovers, whether it was him or whether it was the pass, and the spacing and the movement ahead of him to see if an attacker from a wing back or a forward position could come off the line. It's also for those guys that are higher up the field, if they can see him moving into space, understand that if we play him into those spaces, that he does a good job of advancing with the ball and moving us forward. So the timing of some of those were off and led to some transition moments where now he's pulled out of the middle. So that's something we'll look at as well.
And speaking on that trust, he did go almost 90, and you pulled Book out a little earlier.
Yeah.
Is that mostly for balancing minutes?
No, it was just physical. There was some cramping. So at that stage, knowing that Luka was having the same issues, we wanted to make sure that with our last moment, it was, a little bit more clear of what that decision was going to be. So we felt Pavel was, it made sense to take him and Luka off at the same time.
We'll go to Laurel.
With 2 games left, there were some favorable results as far as other teams dropping points this weekend. How do you feel like things stand for you guys in that supporter shield race, or just where you want to be in the playoff
We
position?
can only focus on our games, and we missed an opportunity, of course, tonight. But for me, we're trying to get the highest seed possible, but it's not to rely on other results. It's just to see where it ends up. If we can have 2 good performances and see if we can get 6 points out of it.
We'll go back to Carter, and we'll go to the back.
Pat, part of going into the playoffs, I'd imagine, is being at your best when you get there. And you talked last week about having things to work on. I guess what I'm getting to is, do you feel like you're still upward and moving forward, or do you feel like there's some things tonight that you saw that, especially with the defense, that
There's some things tonight, that's clear, that we have to improve on.
We'll go to Jose.
Buenas noches, profe. 2 preguntas en una serían, ¿por qué le cuesta tanto al equipo mantener el resultado? Y pensando en lo que se viene, que hoy nos llegaron tanto y nos crearon tantas oportunidades de gol.
Coach, it's 2 questions. The first being, why do you feel like tonight the team struggled so much to hold that 1-goal lead once they got it? And second, with what you have in front of you, what do you want to see from these last 2 games?
Our defensive organization, like I mentioned, was poor, I think, to manage the stretch after we went up a goal, and that's what we need to improve in this final 2 weeks and into the playoffs.